Welcome back to the Alter Ego Bros. I'm your host today, Andy. That's Nick, and we're just two regular dudes doing regular reviews. And today, we're going to be doing a review of Eddington.
And before we begin, just want to let everybody know, whatever your feelings are about this movie, you're right.
The story is about the standoff between Joe Cross and Mayor Ted Garcia and revolves around the themes of division, COVID mandates, BLM movement, big tech. It's a lot. It's risky. It's an original movie. But hey, at least it's not another superhero movie.
Is that a bird?
I think that Eddington is a wonderful time capsule of the 2020 pandemic, but depending on your experience with the pandemic, it does teeter between being hilarious and absolutely traumatizing.
Does that mean bad?
Yeah, that means bad. I think Joe Cross is a fascinating character. I loved watching him going fully in control of his life to spiraling completely out of control to the point that it's actually unpredictable. I think it does a good job of depicting both sides of the pandemic, and I think it does a good job of staying pretty centralist. However, I think the ending kind of spiraled into a dumpster fire. And because of that, my overall score for the story section is a solid 1 out of 2. I just needed an overhaul on the ending. I got a bit lost. I could follow along with it until I couldn't. Nick, what did you think about the story?
I thought the story was very uncomfortable, but I realized that was on purpose. I thought the first third was very Ari Aster, who's the director, and it was a slow burn. The second third gave us a nice twist in there and really drummed up more interest in what was going on. And then, like you said, that final third just kind of threw all that out the window. There's no words to describe everything that happened in that last part of the movie, so I'm not even going to try. For me, I thought this was juggling so many things at one time that it had a hard time focusing on a main message and plot point through the movie, and a lot of these things didn't really get resolved. It's supposed to be a Western comedy. I didn't get either of those vibes personally from it.
I don't think anyone knows what happened in the end.
I don't think nobody knows how to explain it. It's just, it's completely unexplainable.
And that is a perfect segue right into the acting. This is a star-casted crew. It's got people like Pedro Pascal, who's huge in Hollywood right now, Emma Stone, who's also amazing, and of course starring Joaquin Phoenix, who I think came into this performance hitting the ground running at 150 miles an hour and just kept going. It felt like at times other actors were just trying to keep up with him. I think Joaquin Phoenix did a phenomenal job in this one. It was the perfect casting for the director's vision. It's a really tough character to play Joe Cross, but Joaquin Phoenix has this uncanny ability to indulge into like the worst characteristics of any character. He goes further than whatever makes you feel comfortable. So I'm gonna round out my acting scoring with a solid 2 out of 2. I think that Joaquin Phoenix is just very Oscar worthy in this performance, but I do think I want the Oscar for Best Actor to go to Michael B. Jordan for Sinners.
Twice.
What did you think about the acting?
I agree with you that Joaquin Phoenix really led the charge for this movie. I don't think anybody else really holds a candle to what he did. I did not give it full marks. Just gonna throw that out there. I don't think anybody else in the cast is going to get any sort of recognition for this. It's basically a one-person show, which is why I feel like the Western term that's been thrown around, and it's a modern Western, it's a modern Western. There's not really enough of other characters for it to be a modern Western. When you say that, I'm thinking two people stand off in high noon getting ready to duel. There's nothing like that in this movie. It's about Joaquin Phoenix's character and that character only.
Is there anything else that you would like to discuss?
Yes, there is. One thing I wanted to discuss was the music, or lack thereof. A lot of the time this movie goes with no soundtrack underneath it. There are some like piano hits every once in a while, and they're kind of chaotic It helps build up that tension, but that's pretty much all you get throughout the movie. For me personally, it didn't really work, but I don't think much of this movie worked for me.
You should be able to tell the story in full by just listening to the music. I don't think you're going to be able to with this one. So that's going to bring us to our rating and recommendation. I'll go first since I'm the host. I am an overall 8 out of 10 for this movie. As I mentioned, the story was a little weak, and as you mentioned, I thought the music was a little weak as well. I don't recommend you go to theaters for this one. I think it's better off you wait for streaming just because depending on how it's going to affect you and how the pandemic related to you, it gives you the opportunity to pause it, walk away, stop it, whatever it is without investing into a movie theater ticket. So hold off on it.
Hold on, I gotta stop from being sick a little bit here. Okay. Oh, that rating, that made me sick.
I figured I might be unpopular in this opinion.
1 second.
I bet I'm higher than most people. I'm sure I am.
This movie is aimless. It's too general. I think it's too close to when COVID happened. Hold on, I got a whole list here. I'm gonna list this out. Between the mayor race, COVID, the conspiracy theories, the murder, the jealousy, the homelessness, the BLM, the white privilege, the cults, the sexual assault, the trauma, the marriage, Antifa, KKK kind of question mark, and big tech. All this stuff was hit on. Even the main point of it being during the pandemic and the main character catching COVID is never resolved. I think this was a big miss for Ari Aster. I think he took a bite way too big for him to chew, and he couldn't get out what he wanted to say. This was a 3 out of 10 for me, and I don't recommend anybody watch it at all, ever, anywhere. Woo! Remember, whatever opinion you have of this movie, you're right.
So that's going to put our combined channel rating at a solid... Jesus, how many do we have in this category? 5 out of 10?
I think we should revisit that one.
Thank you for liking and subscribing. Sorry for Nick's behalf again. He tends to do this a lot recently. And remember, we're just two regular dudes
doing regular reviews. And Andy's are bad.
$20 years? Is that far enough away from the pandemic for you?
To revisit it? Maybe.
I think it's a good time capsule. So that would be very fitting.
People still act like that. It's not a time capsule.
The mud is still wet, bro. The mud is still wet. It's a time capsule nonetheless, though, okay? No one cares how dry the dirt is yet.
I have a time capsule in my fridge of the sandwich I had earlier.
Yes, you do.
Time capsule.